Hello folks, how you doing today? This is Steve with Backyard Fed. Just wanted to show you guys these tomato plants. I literally let them just go crazy so I could show you guys how I prune the tomato plants. These ones here are in tomato cages. I normally do not use tomato cages, but they were some pretty weak plants when I planted them. Got them from a friend. They were in distress. So I used some tomato cages and some rope to kind of hold them in place so they didn't fall over and just rot. But let me show you, this is them. They are completely insane. Now if you go around to the side here, you can see I've already started trimming the other side. I've got that big pile, this big pile over here, and this is how we do our tomato plants. All right, normally I would have a stick in the ground and it would come up and that would hold everything, and I'd have the string across, string holding it up, however that may be. These ones here, I probably will remove these tomato cages and put the sticks in the ground. But as you can see, I have heavily trimmed these. Each one of them, the suckers just went crazy. I did keep a lot of the fruit on here. That was kind of my determining factor on how to cut it, except for this poor guy right here. I accidentally cut off the wrong one, and there was a ton of fruit on it. Or vegetable, if you want to call a tomato a vegetable. It is a fruit, but your opinion is your opinion, my opinion is my opinion. But I just want to show you folks how heavily I had to trim these after letting them go crazy. Hopefully you guys can see these. Like I said, I'll give you another view over here. Let's see. But as you can see, just by looking in here, these things are insane. Every one of these plants look like this. There's sucker after sucker coming off. And this is just a couple months of letting the tomatoes go. So, and like I said, you will get tomatoes like this, but the problem with that is you've got to deal with, well, first off, pests. Pests are going to get into them. The airflow is going to be bad, so you can get a lot of rot. The plant needs more nutrients to survive when it's like this. And it's just all in all healthier for them to be pruned and help grow. These are indeterminate tomatoes, so they will continue growing. That's why I'm going to need to put the posts in the ground and string them up. Because as you can see, these will just turn into a big bush, start running across the ground if I don't maintain them. But with all tomatoes, you want a good airflow, so I keep everything where it's not touching the ground. That's one of the main causes of disease with tomatoes, is the dirt. And I know you've probably got good soil and you worked on it to make sure your soil is excellent and everything else, but the bugs, the birds, and everything else bring things into your soil. So you always want to keep everything from touching the ground. As you can see back there, there is a lot touching the ground. It's actually not too horrible, surprisingly, but that's where I'm going to get all the rot and disease and all the problems they're going to start at. It's right there in the ground. And as you can tell with these ones, there is nothing touching the ground. I've got to go around today and prune all my tomatoes so they can all pretty much look like this. When you do prune them heavily like this, obviously you're going to want to make sure you leave enough green on there where they're going to be able to get the sun and nutrients they need from the sun. So you don't ever want to just make them bare. One of the things you want to really watch when you're pruning, if you look here, this is the top. All right, and as much as I wanted to take the actual main stem, I can let that sucker grow and that will turn into a main stem. So that's just one thing you want to know. You always want to leave your tops on these indeterminate tomatoes. If you don't leave the tops, what happens is the plant will actually be stunted and it will stop growing. You will still get tomatoes and stuff on it, but it's not going to get any taller. That's actually a secret. So like say your plants are getting 8 foot tall, you cut the tops off, that stops them from growing. But folks, like I said, I just wanted to show you guys this real quick. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you would. And until next time, God bless and let your backyard feed you. Bye now.